everyone. Christina Whiteley here, realtor with Fabulous Homes Colorado, powered by Keller Williams Freedom. And this is Fabulous Neighbors of Colorado, where we feature local businesses and entrepreneurs. And today I'm so lucky I'm sitting with Audrey and Jason. Hi, guys.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
So Audrey is the president of Jaybirds Journey Nonprofit, and Jason is the co-founder and vice president of Jaybirds Journey Nonprofit.
Correct. Yes.
Right? Yes. We've never done a nonprofit, so I'm very excited to have you guys here with us, quarantine style. And what a smart man to make your wife the president.
Well, yeah. I don't know if I had a choice.
I think it just kind of made sense just because he's the patient, obviously, and the patient kind of revolves what he's dealing with. So kind of being the point of contact to kind of share his story. Even though it involves our entire family, it's more focused towards him and other patients that are battling a rare cancer as his. So it kind of made sense to do it that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just thought it was cool. I just caught that. I was like, So what is Jaybirds Journey?
So Jaybirds Journey is, like you said, it's a nonprofit organization that was founded in February of 2018, February 16th. Jason is Jaybird. His nickname is Jaybird since he was little. And he's always had that name growing up, stuck through the Air Force, through his entire life. In December of 2017, December 1st, he was diagnosed with a very rare cancer called adenoid cystic carcinoma. It's a 1 in 10 million diagnosis. It's very rare. There's no cure for it. It's considered a terminal illness. So basically, our first visit out of state, because all of his care is provided out of state through Boston and Philadelphia. Traveling up there, of course, the unknown, unexpected, you don't know what you're gonna have and do when you get there. We were talking to a physician, kind of doing a phone interview because they kind of have to get full history to find out what's going on. And once you're officially diagnosed, we interview with them to get accepted, and Jason did. When we got there, there were so many patients that we were hearing so many horror stories about financial burdens, and insurance is not covering it because of being so rare. There's so much proven medical records that you have to show that everything that's getting done for this cancer is medically necessary, because there's no really true trials, there's no cure. So everything you're doing is basically you're helping prolong life, give people quality of life at that point. So when we found out stories that this young lady could not get her radiation covered or her chemotherapy covered because it was considered, a rare cancer and everything was experimental, not proven to help, or it'll never go into remission, which a lot of these people behind the insurance companies are not seeing these patients one-on-one and hearing these stories. So they're kind of going off a template and a protocol to say, okay, well, you don't check that box off, you don't check that box off. So, we're not going to pay for that. It's not really medically necessary, when it really truly is, because this has given them longer life. So when we started hearing these stories, that's how Jason and I just, while we were up at the East Coast, said, wouldn't it be really cool to start something to kind of help these people? Because, he's retired Air Force, we have these benefits, and we're actually blessed to be able to be here and have his care covered. But what about all these other people that are, unfortunately passing away sooner than later because they don't get care? So we came up with it together, and within 2 months, after we got back from his care, we signed up with the state of Colorado, and we got approved literally within less than 60 days. And that foundation started, and he had to head back up there again for treatment in March of 18, or?
It was the beginning of March. I lived in a hotel for 2 months up in Boston.
Oh my gosh.
I actually lived right across the river in Charleston. I would get driven to my treatments every day, and Audrey was there most of the time, and then she had to come home to take care of some stuff with our kiddos. We still had 3 kids in high school, so she kind of bounced back and forth. But it was. I went through
life-changing.
Yeah, I went through 38 rounds of radiation, 7 rounds of chemo, living in a hotel out of, away from home and everything. So
yeah,
it was quite the experience for sure.
So when we saw other families that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. When we learned other families in his situation being by himself, I was fortunate to go back and forth in between our home here in Colorado and Boston. We learned of other family members and patients that were there in hotels, totally alone, isolated with no support systems. And that's kind of how it came about to have our first recipient. So total, we've had about 11 recipients thus far, where we have supported them financially with mortgage payments. We've paid for their stay out of state through hotels to receive treatment. We have paid for medication with insurances have declined medications for them, so we've picked up those bills. We have paid and helped paid for prosthesis for people. We had a recipient that unfortunately passed away, but we assisted with getting him some of the things that he needed during medical equipment. So basically, it's whatever you need. We actually flew a wife and a mother-in-law out to a patient that we sponsored to ring his bell on his last day because he was alone the entire 2 months. And so we're friends with all of our recipients. So they're kind of like a second family to us. But things like that. And so our foundation is on all social media platforms from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. What else do I have it on? Everything. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything, and LinkedIn. So we get a lot of exposure that way. And we really try to focus on rare cancers because it's so limited. And not that all cancers aren't important, all illnesses, all terminally illnesses are not important. For us, this is a platform for us to reach people, educate, and make sure we raise awareness because this cancer needs more education. People need to know about it so we can get funds to help people learn to get trials set up, trials that work, trials that people can get into remission. They can live longer than, someone who's like Jason is stage 4, grade 3, the average lifespan is 5 years. So when you look at that number, you think, how do we get 10, 15, 20, so for us to be out there, we're so small, but I think we're still a voice to be heard and we can draw people in to say, this is really something different and unique than any other type of maybe other rare cancers. And 1 in 10 million, that's really rare.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't realize it didn't ever go into remission. So it's just constant. Wow.
Yeah. So you're just receiving care. And at this point where Jason's done his chemo and radiation, God forbid if his were to spread, or usually it goes into the brain, the lungs, and the liver are the 3 areas that it affects first and foremost. If his were to do that, right now, all they have is continuum of care as far as what can we do to kind of prolong his life without making him so miserable, to where he doesn't have quality of life. So, I know a lot of people will pick quantity over quality, and that's their own choice and decision. And that's something that he would have to pick. But he's stable right now, or 2 years, 2.5 years since his diagnosis. We go back every 3 to 6 months to see all his providers. He's got a total of 14 different specialties between here and Boston and Philadelphia. So it's a lot of visits, a lot of care, and that's to keep him, as stable as we can. And, our hope and dream is that he's that miracle patient that comes out with this, 20, 25 plus years, if not longer. So raising awareness and education and sharing his story, we hope that people will give to our foundation so that we can give to others who are, not in a position as we are. Like I said, I have insurance through my job. He's got his retirement and his insurance through the government, with the military. Other people don't have anything.
And 100% of what we take in goes right out. We don't keep
anything at all.
We don't keep a penny. So it's really important for people to understand that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so can you still travel now that we're all with the COVID scare? Do you have to put stuff on hold?
So luckily I had my 3-month visit beginning of March, literally the 1st of March. So awesome. So as we were getting ready to come home is when it was just hitting the United States with the cruise ships and, in California and things like that. So we were lucky to get back. Unfortunately, there are a lot of our recipients. One of them is a local firefighter at Fort Carson who is battling a crazy bone cancer. We actually helped them. Like God said, we're not just local. I think we've had 3 recipients here in Colorado. The rest are out of the state. But Chris Carnell is his name. And he wasn't able to start his trial treatment, which is huge for these cancer patients during this time that are trying to, find that next, gleam of hope, so to speak.
Yeah.
But now it's on hold. So now he's just doing chemo pill at home and feeling miserable rather than, okay, let me try this new thing to see if it's going to work. So it
Yeah.
just, it's a bad situation. But I
Yeah.
was lucky to, get
Make
my
the cutoff for
follow-up
his follow-up.
stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
We
Oh,
go
that's
back in September for everything again to repeat all the scans. They'll add some additional testing. Usually when you hit that 2-year mark to almost 3-year mark, we start looking at the organs now, other body parts where we know that this cancer unfortunately can spread to. So he'll get a lot more testing from the head to the toes and inside outside. So just as a precautionary to make sure, they're not missing anything. And it's a slow growing tumor, but then when it comes back, it usually comes back with a vengeance and things happen very, very quickly. And so that's another part of the education piece to let people know, you can look at him and say, wow, you look great. How are you doing? Blah, blah. He does have a little bit of his right eye where it's kind of been surgically. He's
So
had
you can see the
radiation.
radiation. So I do get, the radiation did damage my lymphatic system. So I get lymphedema under my eye, which I get therapy for that. But other than that, I've had 2 surgeries. My tumor was behind my eye.
oh my gosh.
I still have 20/20, which is amazing.
Very amazing.
It just kind of depends where you go. Had I gone someplace else, because this cancer is not too known, they would have probably removed my eye and done the craniotomy and part of my skull and things like that, because that's more of the evasive, let's take everything out and hope it doesn't spread. Well, I have one of my doctors in Philadelphia said, we haven't found any evidence that is beneficial to defigure a patient like that, because it doesn't matter if it's going to spread that way. That it's not like a roadblock, like you're taking out the piece and now it can't jump. It's unfortunately mine did metastasize the 5 areas. So it's in my bone, my tissue, my nerve. So, I mean, with nerves, your system is so complex that, just by taking my eye out, it's not going to stop it from traveling on my nerves if that's what were to happen, if that makes any sense.
And they call it nesting. The cells, one cell can move and they can just sit there and build. It's called the nesting process, where that cell just generates, and it can hit from one nerve from the eye, out to the bone, into the brain. So it travels upwards and downwards. So it's so unpredictable that's just why we go every 3 to 6 months to have scans and have him tested, because everyone's so different. Some patients, unfortunately, we see a lot that have passed away from the cancer that he has. And like he said, his is behind his eye. So adenoid cystic carcinoma can be, in the breast. It can be down in female parts. There's different areas. Usually it's head and neck for the majority of the part, like in your sinuses or in your jaw. But his is behind his eye in the lacrimal gland. So with adenoid cystic carcinoma already being rare, he has the rarest of the adenoid cystic carcinomas, which is the one behind the eye, the lacrimal gland, which is the gland that produces your tears, which he no longer has that gland, so he can't even produce tears anymore. So he has his blood drawn. He gets about 12 tubes of blood drawn. They spin down the blood and separate it, and they use his own serum to put back into his body to produce some moisture in that eye.
Oh no.
So there's a lot of different things like kind of behind the scenes that people don't know about that he goes through on a daily basis, between regular saline drops, serum drops, getting his blood drawn, getting lymphatic therapy, getting physical therapy. I mean, there's just provider after provider, behind the scenes that people really don't realize how much time and hours are involved per week, not only as a caregiver, but as a patient. And then I work full time, and we have 3 kids. Like you said, we have twins that are graduating this year. We have another daughter that's 20. So our family is just constantly going, and we're always trying to, keep up with our own lives, but we want to be able to be a resource to help other people.
Yeah.
So
I think that's amazing. So how can we help donate to you all, to the cause? What can the people watching?
So, and we have so many different ways that you can do that. You can go to our website, which is all one word. It's the letter J, birdsjourney.org. And there's a donate button on there. We've got Venmo, Jaybirds Journey on Venmo is our name. We've got PayPal, Jaybirds Journey. You can go on Facebook and click donate on there under our Jaybirds Journey Facebook page. There's a donate button there. And we also have another page called Jaybird Strong, which is basically Jason's personal journey. So you have the Jaybirds Journey page, which is all related to our foundation, recipients, things that we're doing in the community, fundraisers, and how to donate. And then we have Jaybirds Strong, which is Jason's personal story. So you'll see us post frequently when we're gone in Philly and Boston, his next, plan of attack, his next scans. I mean, basically you're following his story step by step, day by day. So you can go on either one of those pages and donate. Send a personal check. I mean, we are a 501(c), so it is tax deductible.
Or message us or send an email and just say, hey, I want to donate a different way. What can I do? That's an easy way as well.
And that's jaybirdsjourney@gmail.com. So there's tons of ways to get a hold of us. Even if you go on any of our social media pages, my phone number is on there, our email is on there. So there's definitely ways to get a hold of us. And we're growing in a community where so many people are learning about us and know about us, which is great because we've had so many people come to us that have ran into a recipient that has a rare cancer. So we reach out immediately and kind of interview them, talk to the family members. They send us their history, and it's unfortunate that they're in that predicament, but at the same time, it's so rewarding that we know we're able to help them. And, by all means, we're not $1 billion organization or anything to that sort, but with everything that we do between golf tournaments, we do lip sync battles, we sell shirts, we sell hats, we sell bracelets. Yeah, we sell all kinds of stuff. And all of that money that we raise goes, like I said, 100% towards the foundation. So whatever our cost is, we do raise the cost a little bit on those items so that we can cover what we've paid for, but then use the extra funds to give to a recipient. So there's nothing that comes back to us. We just want to make sure there's another family that can travel, get their medication, have someone there to spend, 8 weeks to 10 weeks with them while they're getting treatment and pay for whatever they need.
I think that's amazing. Are there any additional fundraising opportunities that the community can do to assist you as well?
What do we have going on coming up?
Well, we were trying to plan a 5K. Oops, sorry. Obviously, with everything,
we're limited right now.
And we were planning another lip sync battle. It was supposed to happen either end of April, beginning of May. So that kind of got nixed with everything going on. So right now we're just kind of sitting back like everybody else, unfortunately. We were at the St. Baldrick's event at Back East. They invited us to come out. So we do have a lot of t-shirts, not just the one that says Jaybirds Journey. We have some other, we have a special design.
We have a heel cancer. We have another one that has F cancer on there. So kind of different things, just depending on, your audience. So
it actually is this design on the shirt. I won't hold it up there too
cool.
long. But, it's not the most appropriate thing, but, for me personally, I don't think cancer is appropriate. So that's my personality, how I feel about it. But we have tons of t-shirts, beanie hats. We can order hoodies. So we were at Back East and we sold, a lot of stuff during that event outside, and, the news knows us pretty good. So it's just whatever someone is willing to do. Unfortunately, a lot of people have personal cancer stories, and they always want to help or get involved somehow. And it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing on that part that there are so many people that have that story to tell. But that's why we're here. We just want to help those that, won't get a lot of support from those big cancer organizations, so to speak, that really don't recognize the rare type of cancers because they're still considered like a trial-based
treatment plan.
Yeah, if that makes kind of sense.
I imagine it might have been a challenge to get a diagnosis in the beginning too.
Well, just to go back on, what the story Aud was telling, I'm a retired Air Force firefighter. I had this October of 17, I had my retirement ceremony, and I was on terminal leave, and I was ready for the next chapter of our life, so to speak. And I was getting some weird twitching in my eye and things like that. And I was just like, you know, some doesn't really seem right. So I was actually, I had taken a contract job in Afghanistan, and it was a week before I was heading out. It was middle of November time frame, and I was getting some eyeglasses just for my trip. And you know, in the optometry exam, he was like, "Hey, is there anything else you need?" And I was like, "You know what? I think I want you to order me a CT scan." And he was like, "Whoa, like what? What do you want a CT scan for? You're here for eyeglasses."
Yeah.
And this, you know, if you believe in higher powers and all that kind of stuff, I just blurted out, "I think there's something behind my eye," because I was having some weird, if I'd look straight and try to look up, I could tell something was impeding my eye from allowing it to kind of move freely all the way up. And lo and behold, you know, I had almost a 4 centimeter tumor wedged behind my eye. At first, you know, we didn't know what it was. I had a doctor, unfortunately, tell me he believed it was 80% benign. And then one December of 2017 is when he called me with the news, and we kind of knew what it could be if it was bad. And that's when he said, "Look, if you were my family member, I would send you to Wills Eye Institute in Philadelphia, you know, go do your thing there." They did another surgery after a surgeon here locally tried to take out what he could. And then that's when they recommended my doctor, I got to say his name, Dr. Leach. He's a German doctor. He's 72 years old. He's been in Boston at Mass General Hospital there treating this type of cancer for 20 years, and he's just phenomenal. So I was able to get exactly what I needed. And like God said, in between there is when we were starting to hear the horror stories where, you know, the young lady actually from Pittsburgh couldn't even get approved to go to Philadelphia through her insurance to get the treatment that she needed or surgery. And that's when we were literally like, oh my gosh, like, you know, here we are blessed across the country getting what I need, and someone's 4 hours down the road and they can't even get what they need. So the rock star, I got to give my kudos to my wife, the rock star she is. You know, she took our idea in Philadelphia and within 2 months had us certified through the state of Colorado as the nonprofit. So it's just been amazing, and she's, you know, the amazing person she is.
Yeah, no, you guys are both incredible. I love your attitudes, and very brave, both of you, and the positivity. It's incredible. We'll definitely get, we'll definitely get all of your information down below the video so people can reach out. And then I'll get this posted right away too. And, you know, a lot of people are tight on cash right now, unfortunately, with but it's not all just money, you know, just sharing a post or spreading the word could also, so if you are like, gosh, I want to help, but I don't have any money, just sharing and raising the awareness for anybody watching, I think would be huge to you both.
Just share our page, share our website, anything, a link that might touch somebody that really truly needs us. There's probably, I mean, I'm sure there's thousands upon thousands of people that need help. And like I said, you know, we do focus a lot more on the rare cancers to raise that awareness, but everybody matters. I mean, we've helped somebody that was very near and dear to us and close, that, you know, was kind of in a financial situation that needed help, and we reached out and helped them. She was going through some breast cancer. You know, we can't say no. You just can't. You know, I wouldn't want to say no to me if I was in that situation with him. So, you know, everybody matters no matter what, and anything we can do, we'll make sure it happens. So, and we have so many amazing friends and family that constantly check in and reach out. You know, we do birthday fundraisers. People who have their own birthdays on Facebook will do a link and say, for my birthday, please donate to this foundation. This is who they are. Follow this page. And so people doing even that and getting even $50, you know, we get a check. There's no fee when you donate on Facebook at all. They don't keep anything whatsoever. 100% comes straight to the foundation in Jaybird's Journey's name. We have, you know, 2 separate accounts, obviously, one for the foundation, one for our personal. All that goes straight to our account for Jaybird's Journey. And like I said,
smile.amazon.com is huge. Everybody uses Amazon. So there's a way, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you can actually, it's the same Amazon account that you have. You just change it over to smile.amazon.com, and you can actually select either it's us or anyone, nonprofit charity that they'll get a small percentage of each
Donate it
order.
back to
It
us.
doesn't up your order at all, but you know, if it's $100 and we get 1% or whatever, then that's just, you know, that's how it is, but it all adds up in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And same with like King Soopers and Kroger, all those stores that are related under Kroger, you can go in and do, I don't know if you know, you can do the gas, you do your phone number to get the discounts for the coupons, and you can get your gas points. You can go in under your account through Kroger and King Soopers, and you can go in there just one time. You have to do it. Just go into your account and select nonprofit. You can type in Jaybird's Journey. Every time you use your card and you use gas, we get a percentage of your purchase that comes back to our foundation. Every month we get a check from them. So we try to tell people, you know, are you a King Super shopper? If you are, do you have one of the King Supers cards? Put your phone number in, but make sure you sign up to select Jaybird's Journey, because a percentage comes back to help our recipients. Same with the Amazon. So there's a lot of different things out there that we try to connect with and get on to make an account. So that way we share that on our Facebook and social media pages to say, hey, if you guys are so affiliated here, you have an account here, one time log on and you put Jaybird's Journey, we get a percentage.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of different ways to do it where there's really, they're already buying and purchasing what their needs are, the groceries, their Amazon gifts, presents, a percentage comes to us without them getting charged anything extra.
Okay.
So, yeah, and those links are all on our website as well.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for allowing me to interview you both. I'd love to meet you when this quarantine is over and meet you in person. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that would be
Thank you for
great.
having us. We appreciate it. And thank you for sharing our story and our foundation and everything we're trying to do.
No, I appreciate you're leaving a legacy. It's incredible.
Yeah, and you know, the saying is no one fights alone, and we truly believe that. So
that's our tagline under the foundation's name. It's hashtag no one fights alone. And that's, we try to make sure everyone knows that. So it takes a village.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you again. And we'll get all the information in the description below so that people can reach out and follow your journey. I'm going to go ahead and follow you guys on Facebook so I can read along. And so
all right.
if ever you need anything, let us know.
And also our website's jaybirdsjourney.org. So if anyone wants to just check out our website.
Yes. Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.